Welcome to Harbor Rock Wealth Management's Planning Tip of the Week. My name is Ruben Smith. As always, I am joined by my good friend and partner, Jimmy Lester. Welcome.
Hey, happy holidays, buddy.
'Tis the season. Happy holidays.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a wrap for us this year, huh? This show here.
I think so. Yeah, I think we've yeah, we got through Thanksgiving. We had our client event last night, our
The old wine mingle,
wine holiday jingle
holiday jingle
wine
wine
mingle
mingle.
down at the San Clemente Wine Company. Thank you to Jerome and Jamie for hosting again.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. What a good time of year to get together, see some people's faces outside of the office.
Yeah.
We look forward to that, and it was so cool. I was so glad to be able to say welcome back.
Yep.
It's,
Yep.
it's a nice thing to do for a young company, and welcome back means that goes deep. I mean,
Yeah.
that resonates. I mean, we're succeeding. Our clients are trusting and continuing to trust in us and support us, and
Yeah.
the partnership's real.
Yeah, yeah. A few times last night, I reminded clients, or I was able to remind clients that they are part of the Harbor Rock family, which is really cool. It's a proud thing to say,
It's pretty cool.
and the more events we do and the more gatherings we have, you can see the friendships forming,
Yeah,
and it's a really cool thing to sit back and watch.
especially around the holidays, it just feels good.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so speaking of the holidays,
Okay, all right.
I got a little something.
Let's see what you got.
So there's been a huge debate since the movie came out if if Die Hard is a Christmas movie,
Okay.
and I'm a firm believer that it is a Christmas movie. So here's a couple. So this action thriller came out in 1988. Bruce Willis, Alan Rickman, amongst others. And what's funny about that movie, Nakatomi Plaza, was actually 20th Century Fox's unfinished building,
Oh, really?
and they did the film
Oh, wow.
and they rented it out to themselves
Makes
for that,
sense.
which was kind of cool. Um, but what I thought was interesting, so let's talk about why this movie real quick is a Christmas movie. This movie, first of all, begins on Christmas Eve,
That's right.
right? John McClane's wife's name's Holly. I mean, come on. I mean,
John McClane.
how
I was
much
trying to remember his name.
how much more do we need? And the film's soundtrack, official soundtrack, includes Winter Wonderland, Ode to Joy, Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC, which was a cool ad.
That's a classic.
It's classic. and Let It Snow. I mean, those are all on there. So I firmly believe it's a Christmas. Now, Bruce Willis claims it's not. 20th Century Fox says it is. So
Mm.
they officially went on record and said absolutely.
Well, wasn't it released in the summer?
It's released in July.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say if you took out the whole Christmas element, it'd be the same movie. If it was just in the summertime. So I'm like, I don't know. It was a little more special because it was Christmas, and Holly was, the kids were at home, and they're getting ready. It was a little heightened.
I think you gotta let the viewers decide. What's the number one most watched movie during the holidays?
Oh, God, Miracle on.
I thought it was one. Isn't this like top 5 though?
It might be number one.
It's close. I think it's close. If not,
It might be a guilty pleasure for some people that don't like it. Anyway, Alan Rickman, who played Hans Gruber.
yeah,
I mean,
great role.
Hans.
Yeah.
I mean, it's famous. That was his first movie.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So he was a big UK stage actor,
Okay.
very accomplished there. But this was his first film, and he killed it. So he's wearing a suit in that movie, and he was gonna wear. The script called for him just to wear standard terrorist gear, like
Okay.
just random a tracksuit or something. I don't know. But he ended up. It was his idea to wear the suit because later in the movie, if anyone remembers, the name that he gives John McClane as working for Nakatomi is Bill Clay, clearly an American. So his idea was, if I'm going to be seen later by him and he's not going to know who I am, and it's a tough
Yeah.
scene, I should be in a suit like I was at Nakatomi at the party. And if I wasn't, that scene wouldn't work out. That just goes to show how brilliant of an actor he's thinking
Well,
about.
they're thinking ahead. Yeah. How
Right.
far ahead? Right.
All the things that go into that. Another quick thing, Frank Sinatra was originally offered the role of John McClane at 73 years old.
Really?
Now, this movie, Die Hard, is based on a book back in like think the 60s, 70s
Wow.
called The Detective.
Okay.
And Sinatra was contractually obligated to be offered the role, which he turned down. Thankfully. Can you imagine Yippee Ki and some of these other things coming out of Sinatra's mouth? Like, and lastly, I thought it was so. Also, Sylvester Stallone, Burt Reynolds, all these other guys were offered. Harrison Ford were offered the role before Bruce Willis. They didn't even want to have Bruce Willis
Wow.
because he came out of Moonlighting.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
obviously, you can
Moonlighting. There's a blast from the past.
Sybil Shepherd.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
mom used to watch that.
I used to watch it with my mom when I was a kid. You
Yeah.
know, like at late night before bed or
Yeah, it
something.
was late. Yeah. Wow.
And lastly, if anyone wants to see that nasty tank top that Bruce Willis ends up with in the end of the movie,
Yep.
that's clearly not white anymore. There's all sorts of junk on it. It's in the Smithsonian.
It made it to the
It made
Smithsonian.
it to the Smithsonian.
Probably because it was part of the #1 Christmas movie out there.
Right. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed.
It's in the Christmas section of the Smithsonian.
So let's jump into what we're really here to talk about.
Yeah.
So obviously there was a major crime happening at Nakatomi in Die Hard. But we're talking today about a different kind of crime.
We are.
One that a lot of us have been a victim of personally. Some of us might even not want to admit it because we feel embarrassed sometimes that we got duped or taken, and we all feel like I would never fall for something like that.
It's we talked about the holidays and the scammers are out, and we mentioned this on another episode of the planning tip, and what prompted this. So we are going to talk about the top 5 scams out there as far as
it's the time of year, man. I mean, we get people take advantage of people that are in a good mood and spending, and, doing all these things.
Right. So what prompted this is we actually had a client come in, I think it was last week. Came into the office unannounced, walked in and was clearly frazzled.
Oh yeah.
And you and we thought that there was something wrong, like medically, like she was having a health issue.
Yeah, we were both on alert.
So quickly on alert, and come to find out she was in the middle of being scammed.
Yeah.
And had the person on the phone who was positioning themselves as a higher up at a very well known bank.
Yep.
And clearly she was not thinking rationally.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
no, she was scared.
I'm glad she came by because she was on her way to deposit a large sum of cash into a very random ATM.
Yeah.
And it was not going to turn out well.
Right
for
away,
her.
it wasn't adding up.
But we were able to be that voice of reason in a time when she really needed it. And wow.
Yeah.
Scary. So it prompted us to take a deeper dive on this, and I have my own stat of the day if you don't mind.
Please.
All right.
I'd love to hear it.
All right. So if you look at the total fraud activity for 2022, there was 2.4 million reported cases of fraud in the United States last year.
Wow. Reported.
So
gosh. So
we'll talk about
it's bigger than that.
Well, yeah. Think about. I don't know if I probably have. Maybe in the early days of online shopping, I bought something that never quite arrived.
Yeah.
Or I know I've had some family and friends that have had some issues.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily something I would report to, as far as a fraudulent activity. I might be a little embarrassed to report it.
Right. Wow, that's incredible.
So those 2.4 million. The 2.4 million that were reported, it resulted in $8.8 billion in losses.
That's unreal.
So this is a big issue, if you think about it. And that 8.8 billion in 2022 was up from 2021 by 30%. It increased by $2.7 billion.
That's crazy. In all my time in the banking world, it wasn't a matter of stopping it anymore. It's a matter of how do you protect yourself,
right,
from the inevitable.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy. It's not something that it's just going to be kiboshed forever and we have the solution.
Right.
It's like a chess match. Who can stay in front of one another with processes and fail safes and
big when it matters. So we worked for a large bank, and they spent a lot of money on protecting clients' privacy. And working here at LPL,
Yeah.
they also spend a lot of money. It's their number one expense is client privacy.
Yep.
And so we have LPL has rolled out a cyber fraud guarantee, which a lot of our clients we've told them about. And essentially, if your account is ever compromised, you're not held liable, assuming you weren't just willy nilly handing your passwords out.
Of course.
And,
No,
but
I
yeah,
think that's great.
if your account's compromised, it results in a loss. You're not held liable,
That's
which
awesome.
is as it should be.
Yeah.
I personally have never seen it, and I've started my 22nd year in this business. I've never seen it
On the investment side.
on the investment side. But that doesn't mean it's not out there, and obviously LPL would not be rolling it out if it wasn't top of mind.
Yeah, if it wasn't a concern. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
So let's talk a little bit about what happens when you're targeted. So you get a call, you open an email, you get the blue screen on your computer. It can be scary.
Yeah, let me one just popped into my mind actually. It was during COVID, and I think some
Okay.
of this stuff heightened, got elevated during that time.
Okay.
I actually remember getting a text, which was kind of random, and it started there, and basically, and then I got a call. Basically, what I was potentially becoming a victim of was someone like cyberbullying me into paying them money because they said they had access to all my photos and personal effects and
Right.
things of that nature, in which I was like, have at it.
I got nothing to hide, man.
Cool. Yep. Roll it. But, a lot of people do. And but it's even nonetheless, I quickly knew that there was nothing super damaging, but someone was trying to victimize me.
Yeah.
And they were committing a crime
Yeah.
and threatening me. And right away, especially us that think we're bulletproof and no one can get to me. And I'd know right away. Guess what? You don't.
Right.
When you're on the outside looking in, it's easier to be rational.
Right.
And rationalize that situation and say, oh man, how could you ever fall for that? Like, how did you not know these clues? But when you're in it, your blood pressure is raised.
Mm-hmm.
Your adrenaline starts pumping.
Right.
You're getting ready for a fight.
Well, you gotta realize too that you're dealing with professionals. This isn't some 11-year-old that figured out how to get in, to email you. This is a
collaboration of expert criminals.
Right. And so they're doing recon. So they go on your social media sites. They find family members' names. They make it seem as if they are legitimate.
No, it's well crafted, very intentional, well thought out. These are brilliant actors.
Right.
I mean, they're incredible. So, yeah, I mean, those are some of the feelings that you get when you're on the other side.
Exactly. So what happens is when you are targeted, you naturally, psychologically, you go right into this fight, flight, freeze, please mentality. So you are in a defensive mode. Your body is not able, when you are like that, is not able to think rationally. And it's exactly what happened with the client. She came in and, she explained everything that was going on, and we quickly knew.
Yeah.
And then talking her down and calming her down, even to the point to where when she was getting ready to hang up with the person on the phone, it was she second, third, fourth guessed herself, like, do I really hang up? She was still hesitant to do it, and she finally hung up, and then the relief started coming as we were talking to her and explaining rationally what was going on. So, and when you're in that, it's no one likes to be compromised, right? Yeah. No one likes to be vulnerable, right? And we typically go into these defensive mechanisms, and oftentimes, I think why a lot of these scammers get away with it is for the fourth one, which is pleasing.
Oh, totally.
Right? They just they something inside them may feel like this isn't right. The heart rate's going, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But they'd rather just go away, almost like let's say you were held at gunpoint.
Yeah.
You give the wallet and walk away. You
Yeah.
still have your life, right?
Right.
As opposed to, I'd rather be wrong or challenge this person, and who knows what else that can go to.
Yeah, totally. And I think people are inherently good.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
majority of people, they want to trust people.
Right.
I mean, I don't think it's natural to just be right away. What's the catch? What's going on here?
Well, certainly not a healthy way to live, right? To always be looking for
yeah. What's the bad, the negative?
Yeah.
We're inherently positive.
Right. So getting back to these scammers, as far as being professionals, they have certain behaviors, right? So let's say you are on the phone with somebody.
Yep.
What are some of the behaviors, or what could you expect?
Yeah. So, I think anytime anyone is trying to speed something up, they're telling you to isolate.
Right.
They offer you advice saying you can't tell anyone about this.
Increasing the pressure, the urgency.
You can't call back. There's no callback number. You can't hang up with me because this is time sensitive. This is you're in danger.
Right.
They're creating a dangerous situation.
Right.
Which you are not in any danger unless
the more you continue
that's right,
taking their instruction, the more danger you're in.
They're sharks. They're preying on you, and they know all just the right things to say, the tone of voice, all the catchphrases and lingo that you've heard from your favorite banker, your favorite computer expert.
And I hate to say it, but they are targeting. They're targeting certain demographics. They're
100%.
targeting older individuals. They tend to target females more than males. It's
maybe some people that might be alone.
Yeah.
That don't have someone right there going, "Who's on the phone? Hang that up,"
Right.
No, yeah.
It's crazy.
It is.
So let's talk about the top 5 scams that are out there.
Yeah.
The first one is imposter calls, and
it's probably the most common, or
it's got to be
one of the most.
Yeah, it's definitely the most common. So there's they receive a call or a notice or an email that leads to a phone call where they are positioning themselves as a larger institution.
Sure.
So whether it's a bank, software company, maybe it's the computer programs they use, and let the client know that something has been compromised.
Right.
Okay. I've even had it as far as, and I know we've had some family experiences. This goes back probably 15 years, but I received a call driving home one day from work after a busy day from a family friend, and she said, "Oh, Ruben, I'm so glad you answered the phone. Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, why? What's going on? Are you in the Dominican Republic?" I said, "No, I'm on the 10 freeway heading home
lovely,
from Palm Springs, but what's happening?" So someone had gone into her social media profile and saw that I was some connection there, and even knew my wife's name, and just made up the story that I was in the Dominican Republic. Don't tell mom.
Yeah.
And try to get her to wire some money.
Yeah. No, I've had the same.
Yep.
They rely on like reputational prowess.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm representing your bank, and or your credit card company, or another famous company like a wiring company or something of that nature.
Sure.
Same thing happened to me, and especially I think it's a big one when you're traveling or have traveled. Same thing. I was down in Mexico, celebrating my wife's birthday, and who knows if it was coincidental or not. Sounds a little...
That's a little too
fishy. Same thing. My dad got a call about me being in Mexico, and he got scared. He got nervous. And this is a former police officer.
Right.
That was taking this call. No one's safe from being victimized by these people. And luckily, we were able to figure that out pretty quickly, that, everything was okay. But why should he have to worry about that? It's scary. There's enough things to worry about.
Yeah. So the other one the next one is online shopping, which
This is probably the most common.
Absolutely.
Everyone. It seems like everyone's been a victim of debit card fraud.
Well, if you shop in one store now, you're on an email list.
Totally.
And,
it's all about exposure.
Just be very careful here. You want to make sure you're on a trusted site. A lot of times you'll get these phishing emails that are
80% off
an item that you just looked at. Yeah. Maybe you looked at on one of these larger online sites, but now they're offering you the discount of a lifetime.
The deal of a century. Yeah.
No return policy though. Here's the catch.
Never heard of this company either.
Yeah, so just be very careful. And then when we were talking about this show, you brought up a good idea as far as how to make those purchases.
Yeah. In my banking days also, a lot of good stuff came from there. We saw far less fraud with credit card purchases than we did with debit cards. So people were like, well, why is that? Well, because people use their debit card for everything. I mean, and all over the place. So for every purchase and multiple different areas, gas, groceries, online, you name it, every time you're swiping a card, you're exposing yourself out there.
Right, your information's there.
That's right. And a credit card, a credit card may not be used as much in certain purchases. Now, with a lot of people with all the points or miles that they take advantage of, a lot of people solely use a credit card for a lot of these.
Right.
I like that idea, especially pertaining to scammers or fraud. This is one more action where you can protect yourself. Two-prong. First of all, you have one place that you're doing all your charges, if possible. Well, now what happens if there's a debit card fraud? That's not legit because you don't even use that card for those purchases.
Right. You
use your credit card. Also, your credit card or your debit card is attached to your bank account.
Right.
Now your bank account's exposed. You got all your auto pays and bills. It's just a hassle that you don't want to go down that road. And a lot of people have been in that situation, but these are just a couple ways that you can be proactive in protecting yourself.
Right.
From at the very least, even if you get all your money returned to you or there's not even a loss, it was just potentially, what a hassle. Just avoid it altogether.
Yeah, even if there's no loss, but there's deemed to be some fraudulent activity or about to be, a lot of times these banks will close that account and start you with a new account.
Or they'll kick you out of the bank. I've seen that too.
Or they'll say
no,
goodbye.
I've seen that too. Someone that is so susceptible. I've seen someone that had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times they were defrauded. You're a risk.
Yeah, now you're
to the bank.
Yeah,
they can't. It's not your fault. Well, they're not calling you directly the criminal, but the banking world, financials, it's all about risk.
Yeah,
and if they can't manage the risk, now you got to go look for another bank.
Yeah.
It's just a bad look, bad situation.
Yeah, so I think that's a good point. If you're doing some shopping, try to use a credit card if you can, as long as you're not developing habits where you're maintaining those large, revolving balances or something like that. You get in that spiral. But okay. The third one was in regards to fraud was prizes, sweepstakes, and lotteries.
Yeah.
So. I
saw that one at the bank all the time. People come in with a check, or they're all, hey, I got this email. This guy says, if I pay the taxes or fees or shipping costs or whatever, pay this $1,000 and I can release your $10,000 winnings of the sweepstakes.
Right.
That you didn't enter, and that you're. But hey, we've all like, is this legit? I mean, these are some pretty sharp folks that came in with a check, and they're all, is this real? And as soon as you look at it and you're like, or the email, you're like, no. And they're like, I knew it. But I had to check.
Well, we've also seen it the other way, and you saw this more, but I would hear stories about it with banking clients, and where they still didn't believe you. They still didn't believe you that you're saying you're being scammed and you're about to send $1,000, $10,000 to some foreign bank. Sir or ma'am, I hate to tell you, but this is probably fraudulent. And they're just convinced, they're almost brainwashed that this is going to pan out for them. And it's sad. It's
I have to say it's a little bit of greed.
Okay.
You
sure. You saw it firsthand.
Yeah, people are like, no, I'm going to try it anyway. And maybe it'll go through.
What
I'm
if it
like,
works out?
no, it's not. And then we might fire you as a client, like, because I'm telling you don't do it.
Oh,
Like,
man.
it's a tough spot.
Yeah.
Not
Wow.
uncommon.
Wow. And then the fourth one's investment. So we talked about LPL, how they're protecting our clients with that cyber fraud guarantee. Um, but the fourth one being investments, I was a bit surprised that this was up here, and to the extent that it was. So
Yeah.
last year, it actually was the highest dollar amount of fraud. It was $3.8 billion. So bad news is that it's in investments. Good news is that I think it was about 70% of it was directly related to crypto. So cryptocurrencies. So an unregulated,
Yeah.
Unregulated investment or currency.
That makes more sense.
And there's been just quite a bit more fraud
like
in that
an
area.
uptick there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Absolutely.
All right.
So personally, again, I've never seen fraud on an investment account.
Yeah.
Under my watch, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But it's definitely out there. And then the fifth one is business or job opportunities, which I've actually never seen or even heard of. But the more that we did the research on this, apparently there are job postings out there that will offer you the dream job, and people posing as these large reputable companies saying, yep, we got your resume. What we need you to do is pay for the training program, and the job is yours. So $5,000 training program,
totally.
$10,000 training program. It's these little hits that people are that are where they're being compromised. So they've landed their dream job. They are no longer thinking rationally, right? Because now they're just their
eyes on the
they've
prize.
won.
Yeah.
And it all seems to be legit and check off all the boxes, and then now they're out.
Poor people.
Yeah. So let's talk about some tips as we wrap this up. So let's talk about some of the tips that consumers can use to protect themselves. The first one, all these tend to sound obvious, but when you're in the moment, it can be, again, we're not thinking rationally. So the first one is don't provide any of your personal information over the phone.
Yep.
Okay. At the bank, we often reminded clients that the bank will never ask you for your personal information.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain information that the bank definitely won't ask you for, like your social or your account number, anything that's like an integral identifier.
Gotcha.
It's never going to be asked. Sometimes they ask you to key in your PIN, debit card PIN. That's normal, but you're not telling them over the phone. You're punching it in.
Right.
I mean, whenever in doubt, just go visit your bank.
Walk in.
Yeah, especially if you're with a big one. They have 10,000 plus locations. There's like one on every corner. Go talk to somebody in person. It's worth the 15-minute trip down there just to feel better about it. Or at the very least, flip your card over, call the number on the back.
Right.
Let them know what happened.
Right.
They'll tell you right away if something's going on.
Yep, exactly. Another tip is in regards to email offers. Just be careful of what you're clicking on. There's a lot, just based off of how you navigate websites, there's a lot of personal, I guess, or shopping preferences that's being sold to other third-party companies. So there's a reason why if you look on your computer, you Google something, and a day later you'll see it popping up on your Alexa, an ad for it, or in your email. All of a sudden, you're getting prompted with these, these targeted marketing. So just be very careful.
Totally. This is a big. Don't click on a link. Someone sends you something. Don't click on the link. People rely. These criminals rely on this one for us to be distracted. You ever seen someone like trying to multitask? They're on their phone. They're doing this. They respond real quick, put it down, pick it back up. They may get that fraud text and just click on it because it says Amazon or something.
Oh, sure. Yep.
They're distracted.
Yep.
They're not reading it carefully. It's on their phone. It's in print. Must be real.
Yeah.
They click on it and later look at it and go, oh my gosh, how did I fall for that?
Remember the internet came out? there was this big thing that we had to get over. That just because it's on the internet and it's on a computer screen doesn't mean it's real.
Yeah.
You know, it's in
Wiki,
print.
anything. Yeah.
It's got to be real if it's in print,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So the next one is don't share passwords. Again, sounds very,
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. However, when you're in the moment, you're not always thinking rationally. So don't share passwords. Don't share account numbers, social security numbers, nothing like that.
Yeah.
I've seen this one come up with various clients over the years. Online chatting. So they'll meet someone in a chat room.
This is a big one.
And then all of a sudden they become kind of the prey.
Yeah, like a thing. There's a little relationship.
There might be a
going on.
relationship. And
even though you've never met this, you're getting catfished.
Exactly. So something comes up, all of a sudden this person that you've befriended
I'm having money troubles.
Has a life, a financial emergency, and
all 4 tires on my car blew up, and
yeah,
engine blew up. My mom's sick. I need a plane ticket.
And they're not looking for home runs. They're not asking for $100,000, but it's little bits at a time, and that's a
big one.
That's how they make their living. So, and then the scam job listings, just make sure, or scam job listings, make sure you're applying, if you are in the job market, you're applying through reputable sites or directly through the companies themselves. And then the last one, which I think is more important than any, is ask for help. So
totally.
The one thing our client did is she played the game. One thing she did really well, she played the game. She actually got to the point to where she had taken some money out of the bank that they had asked for.
Yeah.
And said that she was going to this next location.
Yeah.
To deposit the funds, but she came to our office.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, she did the right thing by asking for help. And swallow your pride here.
Yeah. Slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down. I think that's one of the biggest tips I would give anyone. Yeah. Slow down. Nothing's urgent like that. There's very few things in life that require that kind of urgency, or to kind of speed things up a little bit. But even then, what happens in an emergency, like a life emergency? Who handles those situations the best? The people that can slow down and be calm in an emergency under pressure,
right? And
do the right things that are helpful instead of causing more harm, when you're speeding things up.
Well, that reminds me of how we implement recommendations from a financial plan.
Totally.
It's just because we present recommendations, we oftentimes don't implement everything at once, because there's things that are going to be lost in translation, and we want to make sure that clients truly understand and embrace each recommendation. And there's no urgency.
No.
No.
There's really not. There's very few things that are that time sensitive.
Right.
That need that kind of attention, especially in anything financially, a financial decision.
Yeah, I agree.
One last tip that I had that I thought was neat, and someone close to me shared this with me. This whole situation where it's your grandma or a family member calling, worried about you, that they got a call that you were in trouble, and there's a
I know
they have a password between each other. Let's say it was grandma and granddaughter, and grandma got a call from, in quotes, granddaughter saying, "I'm in trouble. I've been arrested and I need money, and I need help."
Sure.
Or I've been kidnapped, or who knows?
Right.
I need you to wire money to this account, and shame on those people. I mean, for taking advantage of that. But I thought a real easy one was just have a password.
Like a code word.
Code word, not a password. Yeah, it's a code word. And right, it's an identifier.
Sure.
And if you don't know what our code word is, we're done. Conversation's finished. And I feel good for 2 reasons. I didn't get scammed, and I know my granddaughter's okay.
Right. And you just nip that right.
And I feel good. It's over.
Yep.
I was in control, and I didn't get taken, and my family member's okay.
That is good. I like that.
Yeah. And as soon as they say, "Watermelon, Grandma," cool. Well, let's talk about how's school, how's everything, then it's all good. Or if they really were in trouble, they would get help.
Right.
Think about it that way.
Yep.
You know, what if they were in need of some help real quick?
Yeah. Wow.
Watermelon, and I'm on the side of the road.
Yep.
I need help.
Yep. Watermelon.
That's right.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, this is, I think this is important. You know, scammers are out this time of year, more so than ever. And, you know, we want to be able to provide a little bit more insight and some personal experiences that we've had and what we've come across with clients. So
Yep.
We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next year. Happy holidays.
Yep. Take care.
Take care.